Welcome to sportsbookraeview.com. It's the Premier League. It's week 24. So that means 23 weeks of pain have now passed us by. So we've got another 13 or 14 weeks to make sure that we start repairing the damage. I'm going to have Matt and Martin, and they're going to dive into a card that looks like, if you're brave, there's plenty value to be had. But first of all, if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button and ring the bell. Ring the bell means that if you just basically, if I change the schedule, we'll let you know and you'll never miss any content again. If you press the link in the description, that'll take you over to articles wrote by either Matt, Martin, Tan, Alex, and every other program that we have on SBR is accompanied by an article. And they'll have parlays over there, and they'll have in-depth reasoning for a single. If you have just subscribed, then get yourself into the chat. Put the thumbs up. Thumbs up's quite important because it shows YouTube that you're actually engaging and you're enjoying. Martin, Premier League, been very tough. Things are not changing.
Yeah, it is a tough league, Flash, but it's great to be on here with you. I can't actually see you, so if maybe if Freddie could make some magic happen, so we can actually see you, that'd be good. But yeah, it has been a tough period, I guess, because the fixture list is really congested, and a lot of players are tired. A lot of teams have got other commitments in FA Cup and stuff. We've got the Champions League coming up soon as well, which is going to complicate matters even further. But yeah, it just has been a difficult season with COVID. I think I'm actually doing better in La Liga than Premier League this season, but hey, there's still plenty of time left, and this should be a really good time of season whereby we can start racking up some profits, because we know the sort of trends that are developing and the way the teams are shaping up. So hopefully we'll have a good week this time around.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 26 units up with Bundesliga and Serie A. Level, exactly level. We do La Liga tomorrow, but horrendous in the Premier League. Now, away from the show, you've been doing the Premier League okay then, Matt?
I mean, yeah, the shows have been good too. I mean, I've just been kind of scraping away some small profit on the shows and doing well. Otherwise, I'm like, I don't know, 21. I don't know. I've done really well recently. It doesn't really matter too much. It's all about this week. And I think that there is some value to be had. But I agree with Martin. I believe that there is a lot out there right now. And I think that we can, kind of put some bandages on this season, if you will.
Yeah, that's the one. And just try and damage limitations, I would say. Freddie, before we go into an absolute cracker of a game at the Walker Stadium, can you stick them records up, but don't leave them up there too long, please? They depress me. Okay, Martin, minus 6.73. Matt, minus 12.09. Flash, minus 21.89. Team Parlay, 0.22 in the negative. That's nearly 41 units down. Get it off then, Freddie. We'll have to eat into that this week. Martin, I'm going to come to you straight away. It's Leicester, plus 270. Draw, plus 275. And Liverpool at plus 110. Is this another game where Liverpool go and hit the home team on the counter-attack? They won 3-1 at Spurs. They won 3-1 at West Ham. Do they go and win 3-1 against Leicester?
Yeah, I think it's actually a really good opportunity to back Liverpool at plus money. You rarely see that in the Premier League, and they have a very good record against Leicester. Crushed them earlier this season, despite missing several key players for that game. Salah was out, Thiago was out, obviously Van Dijk and Gomez were missing. So they went down there with a weakened team and really took them apart. Beat them home and away last season, especially that really emphatic 4-0 victory on Boxing Day. That was the one where everyone just realised they were going to win the title. Obviously, things aren't going so well for them now, and Leicester are in a reasonable shape, reasonably good form. But yeah, I just think this is a good opportunity for Liverpool to bounce back. They haven't had a midweek game. Leicester did play. They did field a pretty strong team in that match. So Liverpool should be fresher, and those odds, I have to go for the away win.
Thought the Alex Classic might be on the cards. I fancy both teams are definitely going to score. It's whether someone gets a winner, though, Matt.
See, I feel a little bit differently in terms of the total, just because of how cold it is there in England. The total is dropping as we speak. Last night I looked at it; it was at plus 125 on an under 2.5, and right now it's like down to plus 110 on an under. So money is starting to come in on some unders, and it's rightly so, because it's what, I don't know, Martin can touch on it a little bit better than I can, but I believe it's like one of the coldest that it's been in England in about 25 years or so. So it could be a week to back some more unders. What is it like, Martin? Just to touch on it. Is it pretty cold?
Oh yeah, it's freezing. I've had my heating on for about 120 hours straight. Yeah, it's very, very cold here. But I don't know. We've seen some pretty high scoring FA Cup games midweek. So not sure.
Yeah,
not
it'll
sure.
be warmer in Leicester than it was in Everton yesterday.
Yeah. Obviously in Scotland it's like minus 16 degrees or something, which is horrific. But yeah, it's not good. Very, very cold.
And also, this is the other thing. I mean, obviously, you're talking about the temperature. That's with players and how they're able to perform, because all of these clubs have got undersoil heating. So the pitches should be, if they're played at midday or they're played at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they should be absolutely perfect.
Yep. So just to kind of go back on what I was touching on here is one of the reasons that I like Liverpool here is because of what has happened to Jurgen Klopp's mother, in a sense. Like, I think that the team will galvanize behind him. I don't know if everyone knows what's going on, but his mother passed away at 81, and Jurgen Klopp wasn't even able to go to the funeral there in Germany because he's not allowed to leave the lockdown in England. I just think that that is not something that generally goes into handicapping. You can't really quantify what that means, but he is so close to his team. He's closer to his team than any manager that really I've ever seen personally. And I just feel that they have the ability to rally around him, and the troops can rally here. They've, like Martin touched on, they've done well against Leicester with a fully fit team, with a mixed in squad. It's they haven't been beat by Leicester in like the last 6. They've done really well against Brendan Rodgers, the old boss. You know, they've won 4 straight against them. So I've gone with a little bit more conservative angle. Liverpool minus a quarter. I don't see them being beat here. There is going to be debuts, though, most likely for their new center halves that they brought in January. So it's definitely something to keep in mind, something to pay attention to with the lineups. It's one of those. But I just don't see them getting beat. If it does draw, then I would lose half my stake. But minus 120, I think it's fair enough.
Okay, I'm just leaving the game alone because I just fancy, with Liverpool's defence the way it is, but I see both teams scoring. Whether they go on and win the game, it depends on how far Leicester want to push the game, because they'll get hit on the break. Next game, I've got involved in this because I found great value. I believe it's great value until obviously after the game. Crystal Palace plus 135, Matt. Draw plus 225, and Burnley plus 240, who were an absolute joke the other night against lower league opposition. Yes,
they were. I mean, they didn't put out a fully fit squad, though, and Bournemouth, you know, they put in some of their best attackers, and it was one of those where I think that Dyche, he's not focusing on the FA Cup, just like many of these managers are nowadays. Like they just don't really care about the FA Cup because the money is in the Premier League, and that's where all of it, you know, it really counts towards. So in this one here, it's a tough one. You know, Palace with no Zaha, where are the goals going to come from? Can Eze create enough for this team and do enough for them to break down Burnley, who, you know, Tarkowski will be back, me will be back, that duo will be back. I think that there's value on Burnley here. I do. I don't understand why Palace is really favored here. I think that the unders are also in play. There's just not really enough quality across the pitch for me to find a ton of goals, especially with what the weather situation. I have a lean really towards the under and Burnley plus a quarter here. I don't understand why Palace are favored. So that's just how I've left it, though. It's a tough one to peel the onion back, really.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually gone for Crystal Palace here with to win and over 1.5, like a 2-1 or a 2-0. But the last time Burnley went to Palace, I remember I went for the draw, and Burnley ended up winning the game. Martin.
Yeah, I don't really like the look of this game too much, Flash. It's two teams that don't exactly blow the opposition away on a regular basis. They're reasonably conservative teams. Burnley are going to scrap for every ball. pump a lot of high balls into the box. But Crystal Palace are well organised defensively as well. Yes, they've got some talented forwards that can make a bit of magic happen on the break, but they're a pretty disciplined side. So if anything, I was looking at under 2.5 goals, but the odds just aren't really there. It's about -140, -145 or something like that. And I just can't bring myself to pull the trigger at those odds. It could end up 2-1. So pass.
Okay, the next game is Man City -290, Martin. Draw +500 and Spurs at +800. Are Spurs not the value here at +800?
No, absolutely not for me. No way. Spurs are in dire straits at the moment. I know they've still got a lot of very good players, but we're talking about a Man City team that have won 16 on the bounce in all competitions. Pep Guardiola rested so many key players in that 3-1 win against Swansea as well. Diaz and Stones were rested. Foden was rested. Ederson was rested. Mahrez, Cancelo. Whereas Tottenham put out most of their key players. Kane came off the bench, but most of their key players started against Everton. It went to extra time and they lost 5-4. They've now lost 4 out of their last 5 matches. I know they have a very good record against Man City, but I just think the way Man City are playing right now, they've got the momentum. They're at home now. Tottenham aren't great on the road at the moment. I think this is a good one for Pep Guardiola to reassert his superiority over Jose Mourinho, his old sparring partner. And yeah, I just can't see anything but a Man City win, to be honest. I'm going for Manchester City and under 4.5 goals. But I think Spurs could probably get on the score sheet. So I still think Man City will win. So maybe Man City to win and both teams to score if you do want a bit more value.
What about Spurs +1.5 that they only get beat by the only goal? If you could have a look at that price, Martin, that would be great. Man City has been win to nil. Sorry,
it'll be about -110, -115, something like that.
But that's I think that's great value. I think the Man City are not crushing anyone really. It's one of those though. Man City win to nil has been your staple diet in the last 5 or 6 weeks. Matt, are you brave enough to go again with them?
I'm not brave enough on the win to nil situation. I do think that they probably win to nil, though. I really do. I think that Spurs are going to struggle. And this is a fixture that I have backed Spurs in before on the show. I mean, last season when Son was in great form and City's back line wasn't, capable or at least what it is right now, I thought that they were able to expose City on the counterattack. This is just a different defense right now. It's too solid. And I just don't like what I'm seeing from Spurs. I don't know. Maybe the plus you might be onto something, Flash, where they might not get beat by a margin here, but it's a tough one for me. What I agree with Martin. I think that if you can get on Man City and under 4.5 or Man City under 3.5, this one should be tight. We know that Mourinho is going to sit way back and try to hit him on the break. I see this as kind of an unders game, maybe under 3, but I have concluded City in a double. That's where I stand. I believe that they should win this game. They're in too good a form right now for me, and that's just where I've left it.
Yeah, I mean, athletically, they look like they're head and shoulders above nearly every single side and every individual they've come up against. I'm wondering if it's going to be draw half-time. Højbjerg sits there, Sissoko sits there, the 4 defenders don't come out of the hole. All of a sudden, they've got to go down the sides. I'm just thinking it could be unders, maybe 0-0 at half-time. So then if you are a Man City backer, would you go draw half-time, Man City full-time? I think Spurs at +1.5. Or both teams to score at -106 and not care who wins. Going to be a great game to watch, that one. And maybe it is an in-play jobby. I may just go with draw half-time and just watch 45 minutes. Next game's Brighton. Matt, +185. Draw +245. And Villa at +170. Clash of styles. These two sides are both going to turn up and think 3 points are there for them.
Yeah, this is a really it's a really interesting one because Villa have been so good to me recently, just especially in like the draw no bet market. I don't see Villa getting beat here, but we've talked about Brighton's underlying data really and how strong they really should be. They should be higher up the table than what they are. Oh, this is just one. Like I look at both teams to score. It's moving in the right direction. Both teams to score, yes, is now minus 165. It looks like a draw potentially. I don't know. It's one of those that I've left it. I don't think Villa get beat. Both teams to score is probably a decent parlay piece, but it's just really a tough one for me to pick out.
Yeah, listen, you don't lose anything on a pass, Matt. No problem at all. Martin, Brighton, they've not really been one of your teams, and they're playing Villa. That's not really been one of your teams.
No, I do quite like Brighton actually. I think they're a good team, and they're unfortunate to be where they are in the table given their performance levels over the course of the season. I'm kind of tempted to go Brighton draw no bet in this one. They did win 2-1 at Villa Park earlier this season, and like you said, it is a real clash of styles, but I think Brighton's hard pressing sort of all energy style is quite well suited to playing against Aston Villa. Villa seem to do better against the teams that give them a lot of space, a lot of time on the ball. So yeah, I do think it'll be a fascinating game to watch, but I'm not exactly sure how it's going to pan out. So I've got to pass this one.
Yeah, I think there's better games ahead, but not one. The one we're going to next is definitely not, because I think this is an unders as well. And just be careful, because it's definitely going to be a lineup checker. Because Southampton at plus 165, draw plus 230, Wolves plus 200. We filmed this on Thursday lunchtime. Southampton has just beaten Wolves at Wolves 2-0. I'm not so sure they repeat it, but I'm not so sure they get beat, Martin.
Yeah, this is a difficult one from a handicapping perspective. Obviously, we sent our tips into you earlier today before that game had taken place. So I did go for both teams to score in this match. Having seen the evidence of the game we just watched, not quite. I'm still happy to go for it, and I imagine the odds will probably be better after Wolves just drew a blank. So I guess the odds will go in my favour for that one. Southampton showed that they can open up this Wolves defence, which isn't the easiest of tasks. But I would have expected Wolves to learn from that defeat and figure out a way to unlock Southampton.
They made more changes than Southampton, though, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. So we'll see some fresh.
Cody has to come back.
Yeah.
I mean, does Traore start, Matt?
I don't know. He's kind of better off the bench just because he brings that electric pace. But yeah, it's one of those where today it was kind of an easy selection. It didn't take a lot of thought. It's like, okay, Southampton look like they want to stay in this competition. Wolves, with Cody out, a couple of other little changes, it was a pretty easy draw. No, I bet it sounds like some people in the chat were able to get on that, so I'm happy about that. I see it as Southampton probably not getting beat here as well. I think that the draw no bet is a safe play. Vestergaard was on the bench today. I noticed that, so maybe he's getting closer and closer to being ready.
Yeah, but that's ready to be fit to play, not ready that he's got the quality to play.
True.
Oh, honest to God.
There is one thing that I've been looking at, and I dipped into it a little bit. Minamino, the Liverpool loanee, scores on his debut last week. He was cup tied, so he wasn't on the squad today at all. His anytime goal scorer is plus 350. I might have a couple dollars on that because I think that he's going to be a huge addition, I believe, in this second half for Southampton. He makes that attack really go. I mean, with Shea Adams, Ings, and now you've got Minamino kind of in behind or playing on the left. I believe I don't think the market has caught up with Minamino's anytime goal score because he just hasn't been playing at all for Liverpool. So I think that price will shorten over the weeks. He'll be more around 200. That's just something that I've found interesting.
And listen, how can we talk about a Wolves game without talking about halftime draw?
It cashed today. So, yeah, it's never a bad.
That's probably the way that I would go. Halftime draw and leave it. 0-0 comes in. Both teams to score, as Martin says. And obviously Southampton draw no bet as well. Now moving on. West Brom plus 1,000. Draw plus 480. Man United minus 280, Matt.
Yes, I believe that United as a road team they're set up perfectly for something like this. Going to the Hawthorns. West Brom have been just abysmal, really, if you want to be kindly about it with their defense. Pogba's going to be out for a few weeks, but he's kind of a substitution piece at times. He was in really good form though, so that is something to keep in mind. But I just see United winning this match, and I'm happy to include them in the double. So I've gone with City and United both to not draw or get beat here. I believe that both teams win. United have to continue going here and trying to push City. It's not completely over yet, but it's looking like it, and they have to beat the worst team in this league. And this is one of those that I just believe that they should win, and I believe that they should win by a margin. So if you want to go with the singles, I believe that they should win by 2 goals.
I mean, it's crazy because there's no way on paper that your parlay should not cash. I mean, you got Man City unbeaten in 15, 16 games, or the 15 or 16 straight wins.
Yep.
But you've got West Brom, who basically come from behind to get a 2-2 draw against Fulham. They go 3-0 up against Chelsea. Yes, they then get done. Against the Man United side, who struggled against West Ham midweek. They got beat against Sheffield United less than 10 days ago. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy to think, but maybe a West Brom, or you think maybe 2 goals. Martin, have you got faith in Man United?
Yeah, Man United have got the best attacking record in the Premier League. West Brom have got the worst defensive record. On paper, it doesn't take a genius to work out that Man United are going to thump West Brom here. It's never quite that easy when you actually get down to it. But yeah, Man United rested Bruno Fernandes in midweek. Luke Shaw came off the bench. McTominay came off the bench. They got their win. Decent win against West Ham. I think they're back in form. They were a bit unlucky against Everton not to take all 3 points. We know they took Southampton apart. I think they've got a lot of confidence right now. And yeah, I think they'll get the better of what is just a terrible, terrible West Brom side. I haven't put it in my list of tips that I sent you, but I've got Man United in a parlay. I think I would go for Man United to cover the spread. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, then. Well, what about this game? I've got to come to you, Martin, because it's Arsenal minus 135, draw plus 290. Draw plus 300, and Leeds at a massive plus 340. Is this not the type of game that Leeds could really come away with 3 points?
Yeah, well, Leeds absolutely battered Arsenal when we played at Ellen Road earlier this season. It was 0-0, but it was only 0-0 because Leeds just missed about 20 chances. And that is an issue, by the way, with Patrick Bamford. He misses so many chances. He gets a lot of goals, but he is pretty profligate in front of goal as well. I don't know how this one's going to pan out. I've actually got totally different odds to the ones that we can see below on the screen, because I found minus 113 on Arsenal this morning, 8-9 in fractional UK odds. And I just took it. Blind faith, I guess you would call it blind faith, Arsenal to win. But, 2 defeats on the bounce. It's not looking good again for Arteta. The first defeat was a joke when David Luiz got sent off, but they really didn't show up against Aston Villa last weekend. Didn't play in midweek. There's a lot of pressure on him now. I think we should really see some lineup changes. Maybe Odegaard, maybe Aubameyang coming into the team. Couple of key players missing in Partey and Tierney, perhaps. Not sure on them yet. Late fitness check. But yeah, I just think, this is a game that Arsenal have got to win again. Both stuck around mid-table with Leeds. Leeds are a bit inconsistent. At home, I've got minus 113 on Arsenal. I'm happy just to have a bit of money on that.
I've gone Leeds, draw no bet, plus 200. I can't get that game out of my mind neither, when they should have won by 5 or 6. And I think to myself, if Arsenal don't press these right, they're going to get passed round, and Leeds are going to have plenty chances. Listen, we could be looking back and Arsenal win it comfortably. But for the draw no bet at plus 200 for a side who doesn't care if it's playing home or away, Matt, surely you've got to take the value.
Flash, I'm with you on this one. I like Leeds here in this matchup. I agree with the market move trending down on Arsenal, and it's partly for how they've been playing recently, and it's also partly because there's going to be no Tierney and no Partey in this match. And this Arsenal team it's one of those where Tierney whenever he's played for Arsenal this season, like they've been really competitive and good, and they miss him on that left center back role. He's so solid. He's just a really, really good player. And Thomas Partey, he's that stopgap in the middle of the park. Now you're going to have to be relying on Xhaka, and it's just like this old Arsenal team that I'm really not interested in. I like the newer, the fresher pieces that they've brought in. So I'm happy to go with Leeds, draw double chance here, plus a half goal, plus 100. I think that this one is tight, and I think that the half a goal will have some value here. I could see Leeds winning this one.
So you're going what with Leeds plus 0.5?
Yep.
So if it's a draw, you win like the whole thing, or?
Yes.
It's just another way of saying draw, no.
Yeah, draw.
Oh, okay, no worries.
Double chance.
All right. Let's move on, because this next game, I think I found great value, and you'll see with official picks. But Everton at minus 125, draw plus 290, and Fulham at plus 355. Long way from Fulham to Everton. Everton are scoring goals. Everton's squad is now fit. So, Matt, why are Everton at minus 125 to beat a Fulham side who are not winning really home or away?
They're not even minus 125 anymore. The price is shortening, and I believe it's because of the Calvert-Lewin. He's going to miss here, I believe. It looked like he had a hamstring issue kind of late in the Tottenham match, and it was sad to see. I personally just took right when I was watching the match live. I took a little piece of Fulham double chance plus 110. I'm hoping that the market continues to shrink basically on Everton, so I can just have a free roll and win a little bit of money on. I'll take Everton plus 110, something like that. They're right now at minus 110, so it could continue to shorten. It's not a match that I really have much interest without Calvert-Lewin. They just signed King from Bournemouth. Maybe he can step in. I think he's a capable goal scorer. I really do. It's just not one that I just don't have a ton of feel for this one. It's not one of my top tips. I was just trying to scrape away a little bit of profit. So I really don't have a read on this one, and I'm happy to pass it.
Martin, I've gone with Everton to win and over 1.5 goals. I think the tail between their legs, they're just, for some reason, as soon as they get the ball, they're just looking to bomb forward.
Yeah, I still think Everton have got enough firepower to probably go on and win this game. I think they'll score. I think they'll get on the score sheet. They were great in midweek against Tottenham. Richarlison looked back on song. He was banging them in. Gylfi Sigurdsson was full of creativity in the hole behind Calvert-Lewin. Yeah, he'll be missed, but like you say, they've got a few players that can come in. Josh King, maybe someone, maybe even Richarlison will play as like a false nine. Not quite sure how they'll line up, but either way, I think they'll get on the score sheet. But that game also showed just how weak Everton are at the back, and that's been their undoing all season long. Conceded 4 goals, and some of them were really soft. So yeah, I think Fulham can get on the score sheet too, especially because they'll be fresher. Everton have just played 120 minutes in a very competitive game. Fulham haven't, so both teams to score for me. Yeah,
I'm not really worried about them teams who play 120 minutes, but they come out of the other side winning, because all of a sudden you're refreshed and you want to play. And again, I think a few of them players, they won't play. Next game, West Ham, minus 150, Mark. Draw 300. Sheffield United plus 430. Now, we know that Sheffield United don't get beat by many goals. They're starting to become competitive again. You've been on that West Ham train. You're not leaving it, are you?
I'm not leaving it, no. And once again, it's a question of the odds changing. I got minus 133 earlier this morning. Let me just check. I mean, you can get even better than that now if you shop around for your odds.
Brilliant.
About minus 127, something like that. So yeah, that looks like a good bet to me. I can understand why people are quite bullish on Sheffield United right now. Their results have really improved since the turn of the year, have picked up some big wins, as we know, against Man United. But these teams do approach the game in a similar sort of way. West Ham are quite a combative side now, high energy. I think they'll both be well up for this game. It will be a real battle. And at the end of the day, I just think West Ham have got more quality than Sheffield United. So, yeah, I expect them to get the job done at home. I got minus 133. Get slightly better odds. Maybe the odds will keep moving in our favour as the game gets closer. So, one to pay attention to.
Dassler94 says West Ham and over 2.5 goals. I've gone West Ham and over 1.5, Matt, and it's at massive plus money.
Why does this one kind of smell a little bit like a trap?
Because Sheffield United are involved.
I know, and they're playing pretty well. I think that they've got a little bit of confidence for the first time all season right now. West Ham let us down last week against Fulham. This is the same type of matchup that they're going to see right here. I mean, why could they not get on the score sheet against a porous Fulham defense? You're going to arguably see a better defense now. Under 2.5 goals looks like the way to go here. Minus 125, 1.8. I just don't see where the goals come from. West Ham have done a good job with their defense this season. They've solidified it. That's the one thing you can say about Moyes, is that he's done a really good job with the defense and let his attackers play their game. I see Sheffield being able to keep this one tight and close. I mean, maybe this is like a 1-0. I just don't see where 3 goals come from here.
Okay, well, I want the worst case scenario to be a 2-0. I can see it being 2-1, but I'm happy for West Ham to win. And over 1.5 goals. Now, the final game, big problems here for Newcastle, because Chelsea are minus 330, draw plus 600. Newcastle, Matt, at plus 1200. Callum Wilson out for 6 to 8 weeks. Shah got knee problems. All of a sudden, they get everyone fit. A couple of weeks later, physio's room's packed again.
They have no defenders. Like, hopefully Lascelles can be fit here. I mean, this is one that, so this Chelsea price, I've been looking at it and scratching my head over it all week. This is the opening price, I believe. It's up to like minus 420-ish now. I mean, money is coming in on Chelsea, and it's because of the injury concerns, of course. I mean, Newcastle have they have no fit defenders. I mean, it's crazy right now. So what I was looking at earlier was Chelsea team total over 2.5 goals. It was a plus price just to try and pick on a defense that is not really there. I mean, there is no defender. So that was one thing. I, for some reason, though, think that Newcastle can also score. I don't know. I feel like I'm one of the only ones out here right now, but I like Newcastle still, even with the injury to Wilson. I just do. They've been scoring goals, and I don't know. This one maybe could set up for goals, but I've left it alone. It's a really tough one to gauge without seeing the lineup.
It's a lineup check, Matt, surely, because
100%.
And you know what Steve Bruce is like? He'll play 7 or 8 defenders. Even if they're not defenders, he'll get set up to not get beat and try and nick something, Matt. I
completely agree. I mean, they're going to try and play on the counterattack here and see how much Chelsea's going to pass the ball around. We know how their play has completely changed since Tuchel took over. Yeah, it's a head scratcher. This one, I bet I have a feeling Chelsea are going to win this match. I wouldn't talk anyone off of including them in a parlay of some sort just to get a little, couple cents here and there. But yeah, I've just left it.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about the boys in the chat saying Chelsea and over 8.5, Martin. The problem you got with Chelsea and the problem you got with Newcastle is, can you trust Chelsea to get in front early? If Chelsea get in front early, Newcastle have got to come out. Chelsea could win this 4.
Yeah, I think this one is a really difficult game from a tipping perspective, because obviously I'm convinced that Chelsea will win it. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But since Tuchel came in, they've dominated possession. They've been very good, but they haven't been scoring a huge amount of goals. 1 against Tottenham, 2 against Burnley, 2 against Sheffield United. They just drew 0-0 with Wolves before that. So it seems like they get ahead and then they just control the game and win. So I don't know if they're going to blow Newcastle away in this one. I was sort of looking at Chelsea and over 2.5 goals, but it's only minus 133. And I'm not sure if I really like those odds on that. I've gone for Chelsea in a parlay. I got Chelsea, Man United, Man City, West Ham, and both teams to score in that Everton versus Fulham game at 6-1. That's my Premier League parlay. So I would definitely encourage go for Chelsea in an accumulator. But yeah, I'm not sure how they're going to win this one, so I'm not going to make an official play for it.
Well, I can actually definitely see, I can see this game being like a 4-0, but maybe 2 or 3 goals are in the last 20, 25 minutes when they finally break them down and get that second goal. Okay, let's have a look at these official picks, please, Freddie. Okay, what we got here then? We've got Liverpool at +118, Man City and under 4.5 at -138, Southampton both teams to score at +100, Arsenal -113, Everton both teams to score -115, and West Ham, let's not complicate it, at -133. Matt's picks: Liverpool -0.25 +120. And Manchester double, that's Man United and Man City both to win at -120. And Leeds plus 0.5 +100. Now mine, Leeds, draw no bet, +200. West Ham and over 1.5 at +110. Crystal Palace and over 1.5 +210. And Everton and over 1.5 at +140. Matt, we're going to go for a 2-team parlay. We saw that parlay needs a bit of a help. We've had 3 losing parlays on the trot. Who are you putting forward, please?
Oh, well, I already like the Manchester double. I don't know if I would want any more exposure on something like that, but it's really hard to look past a Manchester United win or a Manchester United -1, something like that.
Man United -1 on the Asian handicap. What price is that?
About -190.
Okay, -190. And Martin?
Yeah, I'll throw in Man City then. Man City and under 4.5 goals against Tottenham, -138. Make it a Manchester double. They've won 15.
Wow. I thought you definitely would have gone with Chelsea there. I really did. I really thought that you'd go with Chelsea.
But you always start shouting if we put odds that are too low. You start shouting about squirrels.
No, because I thought you might have gone with Chelsea and over like 1.5 or something like that, and that would have been the same as Man City at -290. Are you putting Man City in at -290?
No, I'm putting Man City in under 4.5 goals at -138 or something. -138.
Oh, okay. So it's a Martin classic at -138. Excellente. Well, it's been a busy day for me with Serie A, Bundesliga, and now the Premier League wrapped up. It leaves us just with La Liga tomorrow morning. That's 11:30 Eastern time with Martin and Roman. On Monday, it's the Champions League return. Looking forward to that. Some absolute crackers. Only first leg, though. Otherwise, I'd be loving it when some of the boys' selections go AWOL. Thanks for everything in the chat. If you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button, and ring the bell. Ring the bell means I notify you, and you'll never miss any content again. And if you press the link in the description, that'll take you over to the written articles by Martin, by Alex, by Tan, and every single sport we cover on SBR is covered, accompanied with an article. Have a great weekend. Come on, Leeds, +200. See you soon.